It finally happened! Team Ninja woke up from the coma of making mediocre games and finally made a sequel to the series that made them relevant, Nioh 3. It's back, baby, and there's an alpha demo currently out on PS5. I'm gonna cover what's new and different based off the demo and give my impressions on the changes. TLDR, Nioh 3 is just Nioh 1 and 2, but open worldish instead of mission based. Same exact weapons. In the demo there is only 6. Most of the same skills. Soul cores are back. Weapon skill tree is exactly the same as Nioh 2. Yokai shift is back, which is like your demon form that you can activate from filling a gauge, although now you get an extra attack skill that also charges up that you can mix into your gameplay. Loot is exactly the same as Nioh 2, so if you didn't like the Diablo loot, it's back and nothing was changed about it at all. In fact, it's going to be more grindy for a reason I'll mention later. Character customization is back, aka your waifus are back, although it was disabled in the demo, and because the game was made during the Biden administration, you have body type 1 and 2 instead of real genders. Graphically, it looks like, well, Nioh 2, a 5-year-old game. Setting takes place in Japan, again, during the same time period as before. I think the devs said it was an alternate viewpoint during the same battles that we had in the prior games, but that just means all the same historical NPCs are back, like Nobunaga and Honda. It kind of just feels like they made the same game 3 times in a row, which would be fine if it wasn't just the same time period and same weapon roster again, making it feel not too new. So as an outsider looking in, it just looks like any other Nioh game but with a bigger map. But this time it is releasing on PS5 and PC in 2026, so we don't have to wait a year to play the PC version, which is really good. I just hope they can optimize the PC version, as the PS5 version of the demo didn't run at a perfect 60 FPS on performance mode a lot of the times, but it is an alpha. Overall, I had fun in the demo, but the main criticism currently, besides it mostly just being the same, is how they separated the combat system. Nioh is known for its combat. It's why people like the series at all. So when a developer tinkers with it, that can have consequences, or at least get people to complain about why X was changed. But we'll talk about the open world first, since in my opinion it's the most drawing feature of the game and the reason someone might even try it out. It's not a complete open world, I don't think, but there is no longer a mission structure where after you complete the mission you have to go back to the overworld map and then take on another mission, yada yada. This time everything is in the world. You can complete side missions and main missions all without having to go back, and you have various other things to do, like finding Kodama, chasing scampuses, shooting ferrets in the sky, randomly finding loot goblins, aka kappas, clearing an enemy camp, or taking down a crucible, and you get a ton of items and skills for doing all these things as well, which are used to unlock weapon skills and passive abilities. And you still have traditional missions via battle records too. The crucible is like the yokai realm, but getting hit will also reduce your maximum life, so on top of normal Nioh difficulty, now your HP is getting cut in half. You can restore back this HP by attacking, but balance wise, I don't know how average or at least casual players are going to find this mechanic, and I can smell this being annoying in higher difficulties where you get like one shot because your health is in half. So we'll see how this mechanic fares in the future, but in the demo it was fine. But you do have a world map displaying various objectives and showing what you have completed so far, and exploring and completing various things raises your area level and grants you additional bonuses. Fast travel is in, allowing you to teleport to any of the shrines you've encountered on the fly, which is nice. And shrines is how you level up, along a ton of other features for unlocking new skills or accessing co-op. Yes, there is co-op, up to 3 players, including you. And apparently progress is shared, which is really cool if true. But as said, soul cores are back and accessed via the shrine, but are now an item that you can equip in what's called a yin and yang slot. Soul cores are randomly dropped from enemies that allow you to use their ability or gain bonus stats when equipped or used. You do have to purify these at a shrine in order to equip them, and the top slot of the yin and yang thing allows you to use the soul core's actual skill, which typically have extra requirements to unlock, and the bottom slots simply give you items with set uses like protection talisman or luckbringer talisman. In previous games, you generally had to invest into magic to obtain these, but now these are all done through the soul cores themselves. So due to this update, magic is basically gone, at least in the demo. Overall, the highlight for Nioh 3 is the open world. The only thing I think should be improved here are the markers and compass. You can only set one marker on the map, which sucks. and the compass is basically useless as far as showing you anything other than the general direction of a marker or objective. So my feedback here is just to rip off any modern open world gacha game when it comes to these features, and you'd approve this a lot. So, the elephant in the room. The combat system changes. Essentially, we have two styles of play, ninja and samurai. Samurai style acts like the traditional style of Nioh. This is able to use the key and stance system, so you have your high, mid, and low stance. And you want to key flux via R1 when this bar refills to manage your ki better, your stamina. Deflect is an unlock that you'll get eventually and can now be used against yokai, which is great. It's basically like a parry. Aside that, there's a new feature with this new gauge that fills up from various actions, and once full, it'll enhance your weapon's skill damage, although this mechanic feels kinda basic, at least in the demo. The ninja style completely removes the key and stance system, trading it for ninjutsu, which now refills via attacking so you never run out. So shurikens and feathers and bombs all can only be done in ninja mode. Samurai doesn't get it. In place of flux though, you do get a new mechanic called mist via R1, which is honestly garbage. It's like a dodge and can cancel some animations, but for the most part I find it to be completely useless and don't get why they didn't just enhance our normal dodge to get the same effects. Since in the cases of the demo, your normal dodge got way more benefits than mist, kind of rendering it useless. Despite the loss of stances, ninja mode gains a ton of mobility and better dodges, and is way more aerial, and with the help of ninjutsu, you can actually stay in the air even longer, so it almost feels closer to DMC or Ninja Gaiden. Now you are able to switch between each style via R2, so it's not like you're locked into one style, but each style has its own gear set and weapons. This means if you want to use both styles, you will have to farm twice the gear. And since loot is the same convoluted mess like in previous games with a bunch of small stat bonuses and RNG, now you have to manage two builds and weapon upgrades if you want to use both styles. This is why most people are likely going to gravitate toward one style. So this divide in how you play has irked some people, and it's expounded by the fact that the weapons are locked to one style or the other. So you have 6 weapons in the demo, not a lot for a third game in the series, and that just means only 3 weapons per style. So Samurai gets 1 cat, spear, and odachi, while Ninja gets 2 cat, kusarigama, and claws. This means you cannot use claws as a Samurai, or you can't use the odachi as a Ninja. So if I like Samurai more, and I wanted to use claws like how you could in Nioh 2, well, you can't. You're forced to use Ninja mode, or vice versa for odachi and the others. And as I said, it is copy-paste of Nioh 1 and 2, so there's no new weapons at all, and 80% of the skills and attacks are exactly the same as previous games. Ninja mode is the only one that's kind of getting new attacks since it has no stances. Now, the button to switch stances is R2, right? The problem with that is that it is tied to the burst counter as well. You have to switch styles or use a Spirit Guardian attack. Now, there is a passive that allows you to not force switch your style when you press R2. But my question is, why is that not the default? Why do we have to progress and unlock to have that basic feature? Same thing with stances. When you start the game in Samurai, high and low stance must be unlocked. And likewise with Ninja style, you have no way to restore your ki from attacking, so you have to wait till you get the upgrade that allows your dodges to restore ki to actually really, kind of play the game. So you're limited for no reason, and it makes the early game experience much worse. This kind of reminds me of Liza P, where they locked a bunch of basic features, important fundamentals of the game behind progress for no reason, giving a bad first impression. So don't do that, just unlock this stuff outright, please. Obviously the weapons being limited to one style sucks, if mostly because there's only 6 frickin' weapons, dude. Come on, why? Obviously we will get more in the full game. There's even a confirmed axe that someone found from going out of bounds, but the issue is that this is Team Ninja. They won't create a lot of weapons, let alone new ones. So if you only ever want to play one style, your weapon count gets cut in half in this game. People are proposing they should make all weapons usable in both styles, but this means the devs have to invest time and effort into creating stances for all the ninja weapons, while simultaneously creating more simplified and faster attack strings for all these samurai weapons to make them usable in ninja mode. As a consequence of this, if people really want that, The devs are going to have to waste time on that, and as a result, will not make many new weapons or many new skills. They cannot do that and provide a bunch of weapons at the same time. I just know Team Ninja, they suck when it comes to these kind of things. The line in the sand has already been drawn with the fact that they reused the same 6 old weapons in the demo. But even disregarding this, another issue I have is the build structure. In previous games, we could equip 2 weapons and 2 range weapons, right? And here, it's 1 per style plus a range weapon. This means you can't use 2 ninja weapons or 2 samurai weapons. So even if Odachi was possible to use on ninja style, I can't run Odachi and claws on ninja simultaneously. You have to go in the menu to switch your weapons, which was not a problem in previous Niohs. Overall, I still had fun with the demo, but I think they got some decision making to do in regards to this style system. And in my opinion, they have a lot of work to do in regards to making new weapons, or at least making brand new exciting skills instead of the same basic stuff we've had for a decade. I get it, Yasuda, the main developer. You want to make the same fantasy setting in Japan with many reused enemies and the same NPC historical figures 3 games in a row. Okay, but at least give us new weapons and skills to have fun against that repetitive content. It's literally that simple. Give us the open world and a brand new set of weapons and abilities, and boom, it's going to feel more like a new game than how it is right now. But anyways, that's Nioh 3 so far. Leave a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments and answer the question. Would you rather have more weapons and new skills, or would you rather have less weapons but be able to use them across any style? For Axe Bros, someone went out of bounds and found an axe skill, so spin to win is in, baby. So that is 7 weapons. Nice. We need like 7 more. So what other weapons would you like them to add? Koei Tecmo did make Wild Hearts, so I would like to see an umbrella weapon. That would be cool. But let me know. This is an alpha, so this is the time to be critical for the best chance of changes. If you want to see more gameplay, check out my live stream of the demo for more gameplay, and subscribe for more Nioh 2.5 epicness. Radio 2.5, Nioh 2.5.